Welcome to my luxury coach ride straight to hell. I'm Magic, and this is Magic's Monologue. Today's episode is an update to Am I the A-hole my fiancé wants to be as stay-at-home fiancé? If you didn't see part 1, I'll put it in the description. But first, give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and then smack that bell like you would joyfully smack a good booty to help push this content out so more people can see and learn from it. So grab a cold one from the mini bar in the back of the limo and let's get this party bus rolling down to the boat on the River Styx. He writes, for context, the issue was I earn a lot more than her, around 15 times more, because of some lucky circumstances, even though we work in the same company. Now, let me pause and interject here. He may claim it's lucky. However, he's a researcher in a technical field. She is just in marketing, not to belittle marketing people, but traditionally there is usually a job standard difference between the two professions. She did not know that until last summer when we moved in that I have a very modest apartment that I own, and I don't spend a lot of money on myself unless on a few of my hobbies. After we got engaged, she asked me if she could leave her job to plan for the wedding full time and be a stay-at-home fiancé. Yes, up until that point, he was just another guy. When she found out what he makes, she decided she wanted a $15,000 wedding ring. I posted this here because I thought the term stay-at-home fiancé was funny, and I thought it would make a few of you chuckle. After the thousands of you calling her a gold digger, I thought it was time for a serious talk and understand why she wanted to quit her job. I was able to gather my thoughts and was able to have a conversation with her. Let me point out, in my opinion, she had this guy so snowed, this conversation didn't occur to him until he read all the comments on his post. On Friday night, we ordered in and had a nice dinner. I again brought up the subject of why she wanted to quit her job. I tried to be supportive and not act like an a-hole when asking questions. Initially, she went all defensive about why she wanted to stay at home and started talking about how it would not matter since she barely made enough to contribute to our relationship. There, right there. She went from, and I quote, she is the smartest, hardest working, independent woman, to, oh, you make all this money. Well, in that case, I want the expensive ring, quit my job so I can plan my wedding, and I want to go back to school after the wedding now that I will live off you. I tried to explain to her that it was not just about the money. I told her how hardworking and talented she is in her field, and she has worked very hard to finally get a position where she's helping with event management and for such a large organization. I also talked about the fact that although I make money, I just have been working for a few years, and we don't have enough savings where if something happens to me, she will be taken care of. I told her about my fears that having a large salary means I have the biggest target on my back when it comes to layoffs. Overall, I think I was able to get my point across on why I felt she should not give up on her career at the age of 26. She agreed with most of the things I said. Of course she would agree, but then here comes the manipulation. She told me that she was very overwhelmed with all the things that needed to be done before our wedding. She commented on how I'm really bad at organizing tasks, and she will have to handle many of the things on her own. Slap to the back of the head. Do you not see the attack and gaslighting of your self-esteem? How is it that you were such a failure before she came along, but you are the one who has his life together and was a success before you met her? What? Did you suddenly forget how to tie your shoes after you get up in the morning and go to work? Can anyone else see what she's doing here? Men use direct conflict. Women are master manipulators and are indirect. Our parents insist that we get married this year, and it's a very short time frame to plan everything. Slap to the back of the head. I don't know if you're an American or your culture. However, you're a grown man and you need to do this on your time frame, not theirs. This is yet another manipulation tactic called time pressure, which you are falling for. She said that she feels burnt out at work and barely has any energy left at the end of the week after running around everywhere and sometimes traveling to different cities. Seriously? So you are marrying an entitled princess? Do you know how many women work a 40-hour week and still plan a wedding? Here is a novel idea. Are you ready? Here it is. It's called a wedding planner. Her exact complaint was her boss treated her like a work mule, and it was degrading to do all the work for barely any money. Hence, she wants to avoid the work stress and plan the wedding from a happy place. She promised that she would start looking for work once we were done with our wedding and honeymoon trip. However, she does not want to work in a role she's currently working in and wants a job with more predictable hours. She also talked about going back to school and getting her master's. I will bet you money that she will keep finding excuses not to go back to work. She insisted that she didn't want to be a trophy wife, and I jokingly pointed out that the best she should qualify for would be a consolation trophy. She laughed, but don't think she was happy with that. At this juncture, your joke is actually accurate. She has every intention of being a trophy wife, and if you push her to go back to work, watch how fast she gets pregnant to lock you in. I'm sorry. However, having done enough of these videos, when she does get pregnant, I strongly urge you to get a DNA test before you sign that birth certificate. Dude, I know how I seem harsh, and I actually want the best for you. However, you have a big flashing neon sign, brighter than my bow tie, over your head that says, "I'm naive to the ways of women, come take advantage of me." I think that was fair, and she plans to resign late this week. Hopefully, she'll be able to enjoy the days off and re-energize before the wedding. As for the gold digger comments, I understand where you're coming from. I grew up poor, and I make an effort never to show off what I have to a fault, because not everyone in my family has got what I have. She fell for that version of me. If I trust her enough to marry her, then I also have to trust my perception of her. She may have fallen for that version of you in the beginning. However, it's blindingly obvious to those familiar with her behavior type. All she sees now are dollar signs. For me, she is the smartest, hardworking, independent person who frankly does not care about stuff. Granted, she got a nice engagement ring and was excited to show it around. However, most of my colleague spouses also have nicer rings. Overall, sorry for such a stupid, non-entertaining update. Glad you were able to talk about it and move on. Wow, she must have more suction power than a Dyson vacuum because she has hoovered his brains right out of a... You know what I'm alluding to. He just can't or won't see it. As Percy Sledge sang in 1966, "When a Man Loves a Woman." Oh well. To quote Queen, another one bites the dust. In the comments section, give your thoughts, and I look forward to reading them. Now for a couple of comments on this post. He mentioned in the comments last post he has a prenup, but also mentioned that the prenup protects her parents' money from him, which isn't how a prenup works from my limited understanding. So I'm a bit at a loss on that, unless it works differently outside the US. Still, think he's going to be taken for a ride regardless. This girl will be in no hurry to get a job or a degree with his salary ready available to her, and he doesn't seem to have a spine to push her to become independent should the time come. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if she suddenly became pregnant and wanted to be a stay-at-home mom soon after the wedding. Well, I'll be happy to be proven wrong though. Another comment wrote, "You just said she is the smartest, hardest working independent person who frankly does not care about stuff." Wrong. She was a smart, hardworking, independent person. Now she's none of those things. You are right about one thing though. She frankly does not care about stuff. She frankly doesn't care about you or your future. She does, however, care an awful lot about that $15,000 ring. You're getting fleeced. Wake up. I want your personal stories to share, and if you see an article online you think I should cover, send it and the whole story and the link, just in case it's not there by the time I get to it. Email it to stories@magicsmonologue.com. This way others can learn from your victories, joys, and defeats as we work to not only support each other, but to become better men. As of late, this platform has been a bit hostile to men's channels as they seek to silence your voice. Therefore, I want to personally thank you for the thumbs up you've given me, your smart choice to subscribe for future videos, sharing this everywhere, and of course, your feedbacks in the comments section. This is the best way to spit in the eye of the algorithm defiantly. If you have a moment, stop by my community tab and vote on my surveys and check out the occasional meme. In doing so, you are certainly helping to educate other men and definitely piss off a Karen near you. Until next time. Thank you for stopping by. Before you run off, check out these other videos and make sure you give them a thumbs up to help us out.